So Victoria's been standing up here for quite a while, and she's going to be going back to our Gold River office, and we're going to be doing some individual training there. Anybody that wants to know a little bit more on the BackAgent, I think Steve's invited a couple of our new agents to come over, so they're going to do a little smaller base training in the little conference room at Gold River. But in the meantime, she's going to be around here for some questions on what we have. And so Victoria Taylor, ready for that?
Thank you. I don't really have a whole lot to say, other than what John said. We'll be going back to the other office, but I just wanted to say it's good to see old faces. I haven't seen you guys in a while, and it's good to see new ones as well. But mainly, we wanted to bring me up here because a lot of agents are having problems with BackAgent still. And it's mostly coming down to the same issues over and over. Agents saying, well, we want to be table file, we want to get our, our commissions paid on time, and it all kind of comes down to getting our files entered into the system, reviewed, approved, and then commissions cut. So that's what I kind of wanted to come up and help with. If agents have questions or anything we can sit down and go over, that's why I'm here. So.
She's going to be at the Gold River office for the rest of the afternoon, so I want everybody to need that training.
I'll be there all day.
One thing too, I forgot to wanted to tell Victoria and everybody how proud I am of her going back and getting her real estate license. Because she's been doing a phenomenal job for a lot of years without a license. It's a very, very fine line between what a licensed and an unlicensed person can do. Victoria's been wearing a whole bunch of hats and being asked to cross the line many times. Now she doesn't have to. Now she can do a lot of things, and one of the reasons I told her, and Jeff Hill also is still in the process of studying for his test. He's pushed it off a few times, but Victoria, the Gold River office, Sue Berry coming aboard from the Department of Real Estate, everybody cleaning up. We are right now light years ahead of every other major company in terms of Department of Real Estate compliance. And we're still working on it because we want to be, like I said, we want to go from worst to first. And then the next thing that we're working on is getting everybody paid on time. And if we can do those two items, it's going to be, there's no reason for you not to fill this room with other people coming in because they're going to want to come in. So, Tim, you got it.
Can you tell us the phone numbers and emails when we have questions, who to direct them to?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us those now? So
yeah, there's different ones. I mean, agent support is like our main phone for everything. And Mary at corporate is kind of putting me in charge of like our California agents. Anything that comes up that our agents need help with, they can call me directly. And if it's compliance, I can send it over to compliance. If it's for the brokers, the broker. But they want like a main contact for pretty much everyone here in our state, just because we're so big. And I can give you my direct line. It's 619.
Hold on. I probably already have it.
Probably. It's the same one. This is the old one. It's 619-212-8019.
80 what?
19. And then I'll go right to my desk.
what's the compliance? Is it compliance@connectrealty.com?
Yeah, what's your guys' main? The 916 one, right?
Yeah, the 916.
526-0120?
Yeah. Okay.
And extension 1.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
What's the
Is that the
email?
numbers that are shown on the website when you bring it up and then there's a line and on the bottom? I mean, so like...
The phone number?
Yeah.
There's our toll-free one, but that'll go to Texas. So that's what we want, like California agents can come to me, rather than going to Texas and then forwarding it to me.
What's yours again? 52.
526.
You can call my local number and it'll come to me.
Is it 619?
619.
And then what?
212.
Could you write it on the board?
Here we go.
Is that your number? This is, by the way, this is all being, Mark, this is all
yeah.
being BackAgent, right?
Yeah, it already is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
The compliance email is that compliance@connectrealty.com? Yeah.
What email are you guys using for?
CATC.
Oh, CATC.
California.
@connectrealty.com.
I have a specific question about broker demands. So, broker demand is not usually created until the file is complete, based on BackAgent.
Right, based on BackAgent.
Is there a way for us to send out a generic upfront one?
Yes.
How do we do that?
Yeah, we do a handwritten one.
how do we initiate that?
You have to contact your compliance coordinator and let them know. I suggest doing it right when you open escrow.
Okay.
And let them know. I mean, like Mark was saying, send an email to CA licensing or even the
CATC, is that?
or the CATC,
That's what I'm saying.
and let them know you have an open escrow. And do you suggest filling out the broker info sheet or just gross commission amounts and contact?
Yeah, just either the broker info sheet or just let me know the address, and most of the information should be in BackAgent
Did they
already.
change the name of the broker information sheet, because I couldn't find it back
It's
there?
not there anymore.
Yeah, why did it?
Broker information sheet was pulled
Yeah, why is that?
when they pulled the forms, because all the information that was on the broker information sheet, with the exception of your commission split, you already entered the escrow number, the other agent number,
Also, we don't need
your
to do one?
number, the seller's number.
So you're just cutting back on some more.
Yeah,
paperwork.
cutting back
Oh, so
on
we
it.
don't
Yeah,
need
you're
that.
already
Oh,
entering it
as long
once.
as
Yeah,
it's
that's
already
what I
listed.
thought. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So if everyone's creating their transaction, entering all the information, it should be there. Yeah, and then compliance can send the broker demand over to escrow right away.
From
So funds
BackAgent,
aren't
you're going
held
to send
up.
an email to CATC
Let them know
Oh,
and
you
just
have
say,
an
here's
open
our new
escrow.
transaction, send the broker payment.
And they just need like the basic information.
Yeah, Mark came out, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Mark, he came out with saying, or it might have been a month, that we put out there that said, if you take and you open an escrow on Monday and you get all your documents in within, your 3 days, and then you email your TC, that we'll pop off a CD, a commission disbursement up front for you, so that way it's sitting there.
Yeah, and get it
So
right
the
away.
real key is once you get those sold papers back in your hand, or if it's a short sale, once that short sale approval letter comes back and everybody signed off on it, everybody signed off on it.
Everybody signed off on it.
Yeah, then you take and you pop that thing into BackAgent and let your TC know that, hey, my documents are there, the preliminary documents I already have to get the contract going, so that way they can do their part of it. But it's really tough to do a commission demand when there's nothing in BackAgent. You gotta have a transaction back there for Mark and the gang.
Well, don't they, all you need to know is the pricing and the commission, and you can
You
create.
need to have a contract in BackAgent.
Well,
The
yeah,
broker needs to know
contract.
you have a contract.
Right, yeah, but you don't need to have the whole thing.
No.
Because a lot of times the
Right.
title company emails you their commission demand, I usually just forward it to the TC and say, can you create a commission demand?
Yeah, and they'll send both of them in at the same time. But it's a little different with table funding. And like you were saying, your file has to be in BackAgent, everything uploaded, submitted, reviewed, and approved, and then our funding department will send the commission demand for a table fund out through the system. So, unless that's changed, but, okay, so, making sure we give the right information. But yeah, so table funding, which everyone wants a table fund, but they just gotta make sure that their whole file is in there, and it's gone all the way through the process.
Victoria, I'm Jerry Case,
Hi,
I've talked to you
Jerry.
many times. Do we still call Houston for residual income checks as far as time or as far as being wrong or right or things like that? Or do we call that?
On overrides and stuff like that? Yeah, because that's an accounting, they gotta pull from like
I'll
the
call
accounting
county
record.
direct.
Yeah, you can call them, or you can call me and I'll find out for you, whichever's
Okay.
easiest.
So how are those working right now as far as timing, what's the
They're
system?
pretty good.
They're mailed out
Getting them
twice a
out.
week.
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
usually
good.
get
Not
mine
like
on
it
Mondays
used
and
to be, yeah,
Thursdays.
they get them out really fast now.
So Victoria, Brenda Coster.
Hi,
You and I
Brenda.
have spoken many times. Oh boy, that's a scary thing. And this is no reflection on anything other than, do you have any kind of a timeline that you are committing to returning phone calls?
As soon as possible.
Because sometimes as soon as possible is longer than 48 hours.
For me,
Yeah.
I try to get to everybody as soon as I can. I mean, I'm taking care of our California agents, and then our corporate office also has me working on other states as well. So I try to get to everybody as soon as possible.
Could we maybe have you talk to the powers that be or whatever, and maybe kind of take a look at that, so that you can give us at least, okay, if I give you a call in the morning, I'm going to get a phone call from you before the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Or if I give you a call after 12 o'clock, if I don't hear from you, it's because you couldn't, but I will definitely hear from you first thing in the morning the following day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because sometimes those phone calls, we're all, it's life and death. Shut up, John.
Deadlines. Oh, of course. It's true though, it's true.
But there really are times with our escrows that we
Yeah.
really do need an answer sooner than 48 hours.
If it
Seems like I
hasn't
called
been,
into the equation. Brenda's calls are all life and death, which is okay, that's true. But the call
I've learned how to change
you're
that
doing
sense of
great,
urgency.
you're doing great, and that secret handshake with a broker's license is, but Victoria's call load is still pretty amazing right now, and a lot of times people are calling for things that they should be able to know themselves. And sometimes people that are on the phone, because right now the ones that are handling most of the calls are Mark, Victoria, and Sue Berry. And my first thing I need to tell all of them is you're too nice. You've got to get some of these calls off because there's some people that are a little bit too long-winded. And remember, this is a call. No, Brenda's pretty fine.
I'm sorry, Spikey.
There's 3 people that aren't here that I've listened to the conversations, and they don't even, it's like they forgot who they were calling and why. And Victoria's a pretty busy lady. Probably doesn't have time to hear all about the dog and the vet bill. And all that. So I'm not trying, I don't want the 3 of them to get their heads too big. But if you called your attorney or your CPA and you knew that the clock was running, you probably wouldn't go through your grocery list and do something. So if you could, be respectful of their time. Think about their average call load is probably getting close to 100. And they're so nice and they're trying to go a day. And they're going to, and a lot of it's from back history of things. And now, oh good, I finally got you. Let me tell you anything I want to know about for the last 6 months. So that call, because they're so nice, is taking 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds. Instead of saying, as Brenda so eloquently just told Gary, bite me. I mean, they will never do that. That's why they would love having them over.
I apologize first.
no, she always does.
So-
I'm like, it's fine.
So at this exact moment in time, we can't commit Victoria to a 24-hour phone call. She's trying to prioritize, but when everybody calls and says, the house is on fire, you just kind of go in order. If somebody would call and say, not urgent, but if you can get back to me in the next couple of days, that would be extremely helpful. But right now, most of the calls are extremely urgent because they matter to the most important part is like, hey, I haven't gotten paid yet. What the hell do I need to do? That is important. We totally understand that.
That's generally the phone calls I'm making.
Exactly, and that is the most important thing. And again,
Am I right?
it sounds just like rhetoric, but
And
the
isn't
goal.
that Lisa that you would contact for that?
No, some of the stuff really fall under her.
Yeah, and I can always find out. Lisa's just one person here in Texas in the funding department for all our states.
We just understand she doesn't.
And getting a hold of her is even harder.
Not by email, she's actually.
Yeah, email, and that's why I said email. We respond. I mean, I could be on the phone sending an email at the same time. So email me.
You multitask. Good for
Yeah.
you.
I was just gonna say, would email be better? Would you prefer email?
Email's good, yeah, because if I'm on the phone or something or helping another agent or I got other tasks that corporate has me doing, I'll see the email, I'll get to it as soon as I can. Always
Which
put
one?
urgent in the subject line.
Which email do you want us to use?
It's victoria@connectrealty.com.
What's Sue Berry's phone number? Do you have that?
That's the same 526.
Oh, that's right there. Oh.
And just so, again, you guys are welcome to drop by anywhere you want, but Gold River office is open from 7:30 to 5:30, so we're over there 10 hours, Monday through Friday. We're still in the process of getting everybody keys that needs them, coming on a regular basis. Cubicles were dropped off over there yesterday, so we're almost arranged. Victoria's brought her tool belt, she's going to be putting those all together.
Don't bring it in. Yes.
I'm Dee Bukins.
Yes, yes.
When you double end, say there's 2 Connect agents, I had my file just recently completely done, and the other agent didn't. But everything's in there.
Yeah, on your
So
side.
isn't there any way that we can make it easier on the other agents? You know,
Or make it easier on us because the other agent's not doing their job? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
that was my outside voice.
They'll pay
wasn't
your
it?
side out if your side's in and
Yeah.
complete.
yeah.
If the other agent, they're
But
responsible for
everything's
their
there.
documents, yeah, and they're responsible for their documents, and they're supposed to complete their task for them to be paid.
Well, this shouldn't hold up her check, right?
No,
No,
it never
didn't.
will. No,
It didn't hold up.
no, because they're completely separate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if the agent's using a TC, if I was a TC, I'd pull the documents out of another file, you know, just to get it done. But then you're gonna worry about like access, and they have to access your file, so that's something you guys have to work out together. But, yeah, there really shouldn't be any reason why another side's not complete. It's the same document,
Yeah.
so it's just the agent, you know, it depends on the agent. But if the commission's gonna be held up, I would think that they're more up to getting those in as soon as possible.
Well, I just thought maybe there was some way in the back side where you are that you can help out an agent.
Yeah, I mean, I have access, I can pull documents out, I mean, if it's something urgent, they need to help, but I'm not gonna be checking for, compliance or anything like that. So their file's still gonna have to be submitted and reviewed by the compliance department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anything we can do to help, it's gonna make a difference.
Thank you.
By the way, in case you haven't said anything, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for putting up with us the last 5 years.
I know, right? Yes.
I'm Sylvia
Hi,
Lloyd.
Sylvia, I recognize your voice.
Anyway, I was just gonna mention that there's sometimes when we're having problems with my files and I can't get a hold of anybody, I'll email directly to the agent and kind of cry on their shoulder and say, well, hey, we don't want to we don't want to have any problems, and we need to have your seller to sign because, and boom, right away they'll get back to me and say, okay, that will do.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is better than calling you because
Yeah.
you're talking to him and her, and they're out there. And I find there's people who, they're really smart for doing things, they're really sharp, but like other agents that I've met in our offices, they'd be crying, my short sales won't go through, I'm crying because the loan number, they want me to put a loan number on everything. Well, when I first got the first short sale, I sat down and put a loan number on everything.
There you go.
So, these things, people that are, it's just a common sense dumb person, dumb blonde thing that I do, but it just go through.
Yeah.
You know,
You'll do what it takes.
but it does. It's surprising how sometimes working with that other person and calling you.
Yeah. Put it on the company, but my broker needs these disclosures or I can't get paid.
Yeah,
Anytime signed. They
You can
usually
go
work.
further than that. My broker's a real a-hole.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
we call him Susan.
Yeah, I have no problem throwing you under the bus.
No,
We don't have to say that most times, they know.
Right.
No.
Hey, John, one of the things too, being clear on time for table funding, to get support Victoria and Mark and the gang, is I see emails come out saying, hi, this is Dave Searcy, I just submitted my documents, it's recording tomorrow morning, can you do a table funding? It's like, how about getting your file in like 3 days ahead and then sending it to them and saying, all my documents are in, it's due to close next Monday, can you review this for me?
Okay, Dave's right on my next point. Brett, before you run out the door, this is for you and Randy also. This looks like it's just me putting numbers up on the board.
Be right back.
97% DRE accuracy, 97% of our deals pay in program. Now, that's a good thing to write on the board, right? Everybody in this room, everybody doing a transaction can help do your part. Have you done everything you can do to make this easier? Part of the reason is that there's an education process, and we're finding quickly that some of the agents don't know what they don't know. I mean, like we got to open an escrow. There's DRE laws that we have to follow, and like Dave says, this helps. But if you can go through all of your files, what I'd like to get created, both with Sue Berry, because of the Department of Real Estate, she can take all your questions directly to the Department of Real Estate. We'll have the answers before it's even in the bulletin. I like that. So we can start reacting to all this kind of stuff. Victoria and Mark are to put all your questions down. So instead of Victoria answering the same damn question 10, 15 times a day, how about if we get a frequently asked questions in the BackAgent? I'm not going to embarrass anybody here, but I'll guarantee you over 50% of the agents in the Connect system have not been in the BackAgent in the last 45 days. Guarantee it. No question about it. And you guys that are sitting here and paying attention say, it can't be. It is. And you're getting crazy stuff like, hey man, my escrow is closing. We don't have a copy of your listing agreement. We don't have, that kind of stuff has to go away. So if everybody can give us the help to get to that, we can be here by the end of the year. No question about it, but it takes
We're not there yet?
And again, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm preaching, we're not even close. We're close here. We're very close here. We're way up here. I mean, when's the last time you got paid the day it closed? It's happened a few times, but why is it an exciting thing? It's like, hey, it closed today and I got paid. That shouldn't be a big surprise, Gary.
I solved this problem a long time ago. I hired Matt back and that was it. I don't have a thing to worry about. Get yourself a good transaction coordinator. They'll do it for you. They'll get it done. They'll have it in 3 days early. There's no issues. It's done.
Well, now Jerry's getting into a thing that's really near and dear to my heart, and I've pissed off many transaction coordinators, pretty much on a daily basis. But if you guys are writing a check for $300 or whatever to your transaction coordinator,
It's worth it.
you're done.
Yeah.
They need to get their stuff done. So we're going to have a special meeting with Victoria and Mark and Sue, transaction coordinators, training trainers.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to, the nice part about Connect is that you don't have to pay a transaction coordinator if you do everything right. But what I'm finding is not everybody's doing everything right. So they're going to be forced to use a transaction coordinator until they get it right. So that we're not clogging up the system with somebody calling Lisa Rose 10, 15 times when they're not even ready to call her. So we're putting a system together, but right there is the key to the whole thing. And we have transaction coordinators. There's about 8 or 9 of them that most of you use that are fantastic. But they're still having some hiccups on their end, which shouldn't even have to happen. And so if you as an agent say, hey, I've hired a transaction coordinator, that's really all you need to do. Pay your $300 and not worry about anything else. Brenda,
When you do that meeting, I was trying not to interrupt, actually.
That's okay.
I know it's unusual. When you do that meeting with your transaction coordinators, could you please let me know so that I can get mine online, because she's in Texas, so she would need to be on the telephone?
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
And again, the people in this room, I necessarily need to speak to. Some of the transaction coordinators that you're using are going to need to get approved and certified because they don't know what the hell they're doing. If you're hiring your niece who doesn't know anything about real estate and she is your quote-unquote transaction coordinator, you're not going to be allowed, and again, this is for the tape, not for everybody in the room, you're not going to be allowed to waste Victoria, Mark, and Sue Berry's time because that's clogging up the system. Somebody didn't get paid on time because your 14-year-old niece that was helping you load stuff in didn't know what the hell she's doing. That's not fair to anybody. And that's throwing our numbers off. I mean, I don't want to, these are verifiable. We can prove this. And you know when an escrow closed and you got paid, and we closed 86 deals last month, which isn't a great month, but we're getting there. If we close 100 deals and 97 of those got paid the day they closed, then we're on target. But what's the number? If the real number is 46, we got problems. If the real number is 33, we got more problems. If we're 33% there, and this number is a low number besides, then we're risking. But guess what happened? They worked together. This number got worse because we had to get this number better so we could stay in business. And now we are. And you guys, again, we're not preaching to the choir because you're here, but you wouldn't believe some of the files we spot checked. It was scary what was in there. There was counteroffers unsigned. There was transaction TDSs unsigned. I mean, everybody in our group had to pass their test at some point in time. Those questions are on there, right? That's right. Yeah, I mean, you learned it somewhere along. They say, well, I didn't know. Okay, now you're scaring me a lot. I'm really glad my broker's license is out there, and we're at 10% accuracy. That was a scary time. And that's why I've gained some weight. I'm shorter. I don't need to stress it. My stress level's got way down because this stuff's there. It's going to really go down right here. When I can start playing golf 3 and 4 days a week and just showing up for the Thursday meetings, that's my goal. So, I don't know, somewhere in there, did I answer your question?
I just had a question about mentors. Do we have anything in the works?
Yeah. Yeah, we need mentors. It needs to be profitable for the mentors, and the mentors need to know what the hell they're doing. And then that's going to be a good start to the program. Not saying that we're not there yet, but why would you want to be a mentor if you didn't get paid anything? I've asked Ellen to come back and beef up the mentor program quite a bit. She's deciding. She's giving it some thought as to which way she wants to go with it. If Ellen decides not to be our mentor, Ellen's done a great job and hasn't been compensated correctly for that because the mentor program hasn't closed enough escrow. Similar to what Chris says, more closings create a whole lot of things. If we start recruiting a group of people that haven't done the business before, train them correctly. Someone's going to do a lot of our training. We're basically outsourcing our training. The escrow company, they know exactly what they need to do. Their business is going to shoot way up. And the mentors that brought them in, it's going to be a profitable. If you're mentoring 15 people and they close 1 escrow, why would you want to be a mentor? I sure as hell wouldn't. But if you're mentoring somebody that's on their way up and they're doing a lot of business and they're getting you pumped up too, then it's pretty cool to be a mentor. So I want to have certification process, interview process for who can be a mentor. Not just because you've done more deals than the guy you brought in. You did 1, and the person you brought in done 0, that's probably not mentoring. So, and again, any ideas that you guys have, again, say I'll take for Victoria, Mark, myself, start putting them in writing. Let's keep track of these and see how that can change. The mentor program, the training program, Jerry and Dave were working on the real estate school again. Gary ran some with that, and there's another real estate, somebody else is working on the real estate school. That's where you can get really, really good people. You can build organizations at home growing the people. They have no bad habits. They're coming in, they're going to do whatever you want. If I could just get a kid from Sac State right now and say, follow Gary Meek around for a week, do everything he says, and then show up to Chris's training. Okay. And you won't be amazed at how much they're learning. I give somebody else and say, follow Tammy Condon. Look around. I mean, we got a great base here. But what's happened in the system, in my opinion, is that some of the aspects of the recruiting is that people are relying too much on the person that brought them in. It's great the person that brought them in from a residual standpoint like that, but if that person doesn't know anything about real estate, that's where a system can really break down pretty quickly. So, you know, I'm a top agent, I've been in the Masters Club, blah, 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 blah. I want to mentor this person I'm bringing in, great. This person's going to be great in our business, but I don't have the time or energy to mentor them, great. Then let's go put them someplace else. So, long answer to your question, it's right about here on the list right now. Getting close, but not all the way there yet. Lori?
Something simple, but is easily missed. A lot of these contracts that you've written have been from way back, and there's old addresses on them. I just really want to encourage you to send an email to the other agent on the other side and escrow and let them know about the change. We're seeing that at our escrow company where we're getting a lot of deliveries to empty addresses. So you want to make sure that you're notifying everybody in the process. It's so easy. I missed it myself, so it's easy to do. Just throwing it out there.
No, appreciate it. Like I said, anything you guys have, really throw it out there because we're working on it. We got anything else? Anybody? I'm driving Victoria off back to Gold River. She's a captive audience until your flight leaves at
7:30.
7:30. So you want to be at the airport at 6. So she'll be a captive audience over at Gold River until about 5:30. And anybody wants to go there, we'll do some more training over there too. Steve, did you have anybody else that was coming over there that's not here now?
No, actually, I was a little bit misunderstood. I thought I brought my projector for us to actually do some stuff here, so I'm a little bit off center. So I'll cover that with you and you.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's easiest, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Well, no, it works better. Let's just go with it.
Okay. I'm sure. Is everybody coming in the room behind us?
Nope, you're clear.
Would you rather be here, Steve? No? Okay. All right. Question?
I just have a heads up, when you guys changed to the new website, my email changed. So I don't know how that happened. I went in and edited it, but just everyone needs to check, make sure their information is accurate.
Is it still that way, or is it?
Well, no, I changed it myself.
Okay. Good.
But, you know, if you don't look, you don't know.
Yeah, Mark, you're getting that down, right?
Yeah, I haven't done anything with the new websites, but
Okay.
I'll check with agents.
What are the websites?
Also, if you have .com, if you're forwarding to the old website, it's going to say it doesn't exist. So you have to redo it because it used to be ConnectAgent at connectrealty.com. Now it's connectrealty.com/your name. And if you don't forward your URL to that, it's not going to get to your it won't go anywhere. It just says it's gone.
How do we do that?
Just go back into your URL and forward it to where you got GoDaddy or somebody like that. Just go in there and they just follow the directions and it'll take it. All you gotta do is change the name where you're sending it to. Because once you do that, then you're fine. If you don't use connectrealty.com/Jerry Kays, then you're not gonna get there. So that's what you have to do.
That means we're not getting company updates either. If you haven't made that change, you won't be getting company updates.
Because the new website's got a new destination. That's the key.
Okay. And Mark, Victoria, can we get a memo on to everybody on that?
So you have to log on your website.
You got anything else? Anybody?
So we just want to talk about the demands, the broker demands.
Sure.
That's all I got here. Basically, making sure our agents get paid on time. Everyone wants to table fund, but in order for them to table fund, as we know, they have to have a whole file uploaded, complete, submitted for and reviewed and approved. Right. And then the table fund demand goes out, and then they can have their check cut at escrow.
Yeah, and we're asking them to make sure it's submitted at least 3 days, preferably more than that.
To
ahead
give it
of
one
escrow.
time
Yeah.
to review it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I hear that a lot from the agents in the field. They want to be paid, at closing, which, and they should be. There's no reason why they can't.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Close out.
And then the other thing we've been seeing a lot of people email and ask if we can look at the file or something before it's ready.
Beforehand?
Yeah. And so I've been telling people to, because that's just way too time consuming to be looking at files 2 or 3 times. So I tell them, as long as they have the majority of their documents in, they can go ahead and submit it.
Okay.
With maybe 1 or 2 placeholders and
Like the
whoever's
VP
reviewing them. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the VP we actually push back so it comes after.
Okay, good.
In the post-closing phase.
Like the HUD?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
good.
So they can have the file approved without the final walkthrough in there.
Okay. And then some of the agents have been asking if they want to have demand sent right away, like I was mentioning this morning, like, let compliance know that you're in escrow and you want to have your demand sent, so we can get one sent to escrow right away. One of the agents just now was just asking, well, how do we know if it's been sent? Is there a way we can post it into BackAgent? And I suggest like the notes section.
Okay. Yeah, what I've been doing for maybe the past week or 2 is just upload the demand into the documents
so
section.
They can see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then
I just
sending
send
from BackAgent?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So,
okay. Well, that
so
would
now
help.
there's a record of
and they can pull
when
it
was
up
sent.
and look at it?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll help them.
And I try and make sure to copy the agent in their TC if I know who that is on the email so that they can, hopefully so that they can check it to make sure there's no errors.
Yeah.
That hasn't quite worked out the way I
know.
planned.
We're getting there.
I think I had to redo a demand
We're
about
getting
4
there.
times last week.
Yeah, we're getting there. And that's what I was saying, that we can always revise a demand.
Yeah.
But as long as we get it in there and, because escrow's not going to sit on these funds, they're going to cut a check and they're just going to mail it out. And I'm like, and you don't know where it's going to be mailed.
Right.
Most likely they'll pick the address on the contract, but
which for a lot of the agents it hasn't changed.
Yeah, exactly. So I told Roger, I'm like, your check could be out there floating around somewhere, so you got to let compliance know right away to get a demand in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still getting checks that got returned because they were sent to the other address. And,
yeah. So that's mainly what I hear the agents talking about, their demands, the broker demands.
Okay. What are the other kind of issues that you hear from about BackAgent?
The sharing, the file sharing, which is kind of new. Like Roger was saying, to share a file, he represents one side and there's another Connect agent representing the other side. And he wants to be able to, she has a file uploaded and approved on his side, but his side's not. Like that one I just sent. And
you're talking about like sharing an entire okay, yeah.
So he wants to know, well, how do I get a copy of these documents from her file, and put them in my file? Because I sent them over to her, and she's getting her clients to sign on them. Well, I need them back, but she might be busy. How can I, get those copies of those documents and put them in my file? So without us manually, like on our level, going in there, pulling them out and uploading them into his side, I don't know how that's possible for him to do that.
I don't know either. What we've been telling a lot of agents, and this is primarily for if they're doing a dual agency, is if they have a complete file on one side, they can pretty much just, request exemptions for most of the
right, when they represent both sides themselves.
Yeah. For that case, if they have a complete file on one side, if he gets all of his specific buyer side stuff done, then I'm okay with
like pulling hers up and like reading it on that side. Okay. Yeah, because I think that was something that he was having problems with, is getting the disclosures back from her, from the other agent, so he can complete his side.
Yeah.
He's like, well, how can I go in and see her documents? Well, you can't really log in as her,
right.
So that's.
But but she can share that transaction, so that hopefully will be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm trying to think what else. What other issues we've had, or questions. Just the demands were like the main one.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the same questions over and over.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a good thing to put on the FAQs too, that, you know, that we post in BackAgent, is about the demands.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
Like how can I table fund? A lot of agents still don't know what the difference between standard funding and table funding means.
Yeah.
So maybe we should put that in the FAQs.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that might help them. Even though it says on there right before they submit, but we throw around these terms so often, they might not know what exactly it means.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what else.
I don't know if you've heard anybody saying anything about, because we got rid of a whole bunch of documents just recently.
I saw that, yeah. Yeah, and I cleaned it up.
Yeah, so, and one of them was the broker info sheet, which has been
redundant.
Yeah. Which is good. We got to make sure. I just emailed somebody about making sure that everything we need is in there.
Yeah, yeah, just double check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now there's not anywhere to put the commission split.
Like the funding request, how we always said we wish that was in the beginning of the file.
Yeah.
So that everyone can see, which would make it easier for you guys, you know, just type up a demand.
Yeah.
If all that stuff is already entered, then they wouldn't have to email you.
Yeah.
You know, you'd see it right there.
Yeah, and I had asked them if they could do that, and I don't remember what they said.
It's like a BackAgent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It takes
it
a
was...
long time to get things approved and revised.
Yeah.
revamped.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So that was good. And then Becky was asking if we have like a list, like a checklist. Because you know in BackAgent how you're in a file and it has like a checklist of things that they're supposed to be doing with their client. Well, she was saying, you know, we want to see like a checklist of all the items we're going to need because, you know, they submit a file and then compliance comes back, oh, well, we need this, and but she's like, but it's not my checklist. So she wants a checklist, something that they can pull off and print.
Sure. I think we have that actually.
You have one in there?
Yeah, if you go to Office, and then Documents.
Oh, we have the old ones in here?
Transaction forms, maybe?
What is it labeled? Checklist?
It's...
Is it the Excel ones that they had in here a long time ago?
Yeah, they've been
those
updated.
are still being used? Okay.
Yeah, we just updated them when we made all the changes on here.
Okay.
Maybe company documents? I never use them, so I don't...
Yeah, I don't either. Oh, maybe it's in there. Oh, this is like policies and procedures. I'll have to check into that. Yeah, because that would help them if they had like a checklist.
Yeah.
But I suggest opening up the transaction, creating the transaction right away, and entering just that dates and info section. You know, if it's built before 1978, then it's going to populate your lead-based as a required document. I go, you know, enter the basic information.
Right.
You're going to see that whole list. You know, everything in orange is everything you need to get signed.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's your checklist. You know, and I go, it's tailored for the transaction.
Right.
If you click, it's a short sale. It's going to, you know, populate short sale addendum SSIA. So I know you'll know what to look for.
Yeah.
But it's just not in the format that they want. They like an actual checklist. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, we just base the Excel checklist off of that anyway. So
that was the only other questions that come up.
Okay.
I think of anything else. I think that's about it. But they did good. I don't think a lot of agents are using faxes, like faxing through BackAgent, because I hardly ever get any questions regarding faxes.
Yeah.
You know, faxing to my email, or you know how you can fax your email now, but I don't think like hardly any of them are using the e-fax on here.
Yeah,
so that never really comes up.
I've used it a few times. It's pretty slick, I think. But
I use it all the time. I love it.
Yeah,
yeah, I like it.
When I actually have to fax something.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of anything else. Just helping them with their demands.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them, you know, they keep asking about compliance review, and I tell them all 48 hours. And
yeah,
so, like, I know you guys are like way faster than that, but yeah, I'm just telling them I'll give them at least 48 hours.
Yeah.
Don't submit files last minute because yours goes at the bottom of the list. You know,
right.
and they still got to review everybody else's.
Yeah.
So that we made that pretty clear.
Okay, cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you something. Oh, so when they like submit their file for review, they're supposed to be putting, like if they're asking for just a check to be sent, they're supposed to be putting in their address in whatever address they want it
In
sent
the
to.
notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for every single file.
Yeah, because if they don't put anything in there, automatically they'll default, it'll be US mail, it'll go to their address on file.
Okay.
So whatever's on file is where they're gonna send it. So if they've moved and they didn't update their profile, or they want their mail sent to their branch office,
Okay.
you know, anything like that, yeah, put it in the notes section.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then for if they're having it wired, they have to put in the wiring
Yeah,
information. There's
bank
no
name, account, and routing.
Okay. And there's no wire information on file for anybody, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they gotta let Lisa know, or Darlene know how they want their funds split.
Right.
And a lot of times I'll enter that for them too, so you'll see me entering their wire info for them. You know, if they're telling me over the phone or on, you know, in email, then I'll just enter it for them. But,
I think
yeah.
I have hardly ever seen anyone else enter
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
that's why I was
Don't
asking.
usually do it. It's either the TCs or someone helping them.
Right.
Yeah. I wish we had like a little section for that, like in the funding request. I wish there was like a little button that they could check wire and have like their bank info saved in there somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it would just be by default.
Yeah, I wonder if we can do that. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That might be a security thing, but
Yeah, it could be. Or if so, then maybe just check like wire or mail. Wire, mail, or FedEx. Those are your three options.
yeah.
And depending on what option you want, then enter your information into the notes section. Because it's only going to be an issue on our standard funding ones.
Right. Which
Which
is
is
a
like
lot
all
more
of
now.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would help.
What else?
Let's see, demands, checklist, payouts. So a lot of things that they forget a lot about is the getting a W-9 for referrals. That's always holding up referral payouts because they can't get a W-9. That's something that comes up a lot. But I think once you click that there's a referral in your file, you know, when you're in the dates and info section, is there, you know, referral being paid out, I think it'll populate W-9 for referral in the checklist, so we'll see it in there, yeah.
Yeah, it does now.
Yeah, so we're covered then. What else? What else comes up a lot? BackAgent. How to log in. Nobody, a lot of agents forget their logins and passwords, or they've never received them. So they just send a message. Just refer them to agent support.
Okay.
They can send a message to agent support and just have them resent to them.
Okay.
Because that comes up a lot at our office. If I sit down with an agent at their desk and we're going to log in, and they don't know their password or their login, and then I got to go back to, you know, corporate, who might be closed at this time, you know, so it kind of delays things. But yeah, that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do with like new agents, is have me like call them personally, give them a personal phone call, like a few days after they sign up, and just check in with them, see how things are going, you know, any questions or concerns at this time, you know, just kind of get a feel for how the transition's going, and then I'll offer them like a one-on-one over-the-phone training on BackAgent.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
You know, so by the time they have a transaction, they'll know what to do, how to log in, and they're not scrambling last minute. And I always suggest that once they have their first deal, to call me, and we'll go over it over the phone, or if they're local, I can do it in person, and we'll go through how to create it. You know, here's where you click on this, click on that. So that's going to help them.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so we're hoping to help all the new agents. Other than that, they're coming in and they're just lost.
Yeah.
You know, they get signed up and they don't know what to do. You know, so hopefully that's like our goal here, and Mary's goal too, is to get these new agents and make them feel like there's support out there for them, which is what they need.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. And then for the experienced agents, I've been telling some of them that share feature, I don't think anybody really knows how to use that, or what that's for, or if it's even available.
Yeah.
Because I know most TCs are still just logging in using the agent's
And the individual
info.
ones.
So I've been telling people to just add their TC as a partner on there, and it'll let them share the whole thing, and they don't have to worry about.
Yeah,
doing
that'd be
that.
good. Yeah, they don't have to worry about it. Very good. Oh, and that's the other thing too, as I was telling new agents, like if they have TCs or they're bringing a TC on board with them when they come over to connect, is I'll call the TC as well and go over BackAgent with them. Because they're gonna be the ones ultimately using it.
Right.
So we'll be dealing with them more.
Yeah.
So yeah, like offering them, you know, like a personalized training
Yeah.
that we can do over the phone. And it takes us less than an hour to go through, you know, especially if they're like technical savvy and
Yeah.
can move through a computer. It takes a little longer for the seasoned agents that don't, you know, really use the computer as often.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
And I think John was wanting to do like a transaction coordinator class, like with a whole bunch of them,
That'd be good.
to just make sure everybody knows what's going on and
Yeah.
how to make sure their agents are getting paid on time.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.